What's up, guys? I am Doctor McFarland, and it is Tuesday. I made dinner tonight. Basically, heated up some ground beef, add some cheese, add some beans, add some corn, just for some variety. Didn't have the lettuce because it was old, and we threw that out, unfortunately. But yeah, so I had a little taco salad kind of deal, and it was fun. So I'm moving my microphone from the back of the rack to the side of the desk over here, so I can move it around wherever I need to. Get a little closer to my mouth. And sometimes it was kind of weird being over there. But yeah, I've been messing with the ToneMaster Pro, figuring out the amps and tones that I like to use and not get so bogged down in the minutia of, which amp am I going to choose today and which effect, drive pedal am I going to use and whatever else. And it's something that you definitely need to do on other units, pretty much any unit, whether that's a Kemper, because let's just talk about cloning and profiles and stuff for a second. It can get really crazy. Like, for instance, the Tone Junkie Fender, like all the Fender rig or all the Fender amp options. It's like, okay, I have a Champ and I have a Super Reverb and I have a Princeton and I have a Twin and I have a Vibrolux and, all these different amps. But at the end of the day, it's just, what kind of clean sound are you going to get? What kind of slightly overdriven or, low gain type sound are you going to have? You can pretty much get that with all kinds of amps. So it's very easy to get caught up in the names of things and not using your ears as much to just determine, hey, that's a good clean sound. So this is what I've been doing here lately. So far, I've nailed it down on the Headrush and the ToneMaster Pro. I'm not sure what I would do on the Fractal yet. I don't have the Fractal hooked up back here with a cable, but I could hook that up, and maybe we'll do that a little bit later. Let me turn it on anyway, and maybe we'll pull that up. I do need to download a new update for the Fractal that just came out, 23.3 or 4 or something. I think the guy's name is Cliff. He's always rapidly just updating the Axe effects in the Fractal FM9, FM3 type stuff. Now, the Axe effects has been more updated here lately, but I think the hope is for the FM users that all this stuff like gapless switching and all that cool stuff will trickle down to the FM9, FM3. And if that's the case, I would definitely consider getting an FM3 again, even though you can only use one amp block and one reverb block, which I kind of prefer having at least 2 reverb blocks. But having one amp block and now the ability to have gapless switching between amp channels pretty much means you can have 4 totally separate amps in a preset and just switch between them via scenes. And I do have the FC12 foot switch down here. So even though the FM3 only has 3 switches, I can control it with the FC12 and then still break them apart if I wanted to just take the FM3 in a backpack or somewhere like that. Or it'll still be fairly easy to throw the FC12 maybe in my Headrush backpack and then the FM3 in the front pocket of that backpack. So I can still have my full Fractal rig in a easy carry kind of situation. Because with the rack mount, yes, it has way more power and all that stuff, but a rack mount is not as convenient to carry around unless you're in a touring kind of situation. So, yeah, all kinds of options these days. I didn't really get on with the Quad Cortex. I did think it sounded really good, but just some of the ways it used presets and scenes and getting around all that stuff, I just wasn't a fan of that. And I'm definitely more of a headrush user anyway. And I've gotten very accustomed to how the headrush does things. Even though other units do things slightly better than the headrush, headrush still has plenty of features for the amateur or the budding rock star in your bedroom or the professional out touring the world. So, I mean, headrush can still do it all. I did recently buy a Helix Platinum, which is a very cool unit. And I feel like it's still very easy to use, even though it doesn't technically have a touchscreen. You still have to use knobs and the jog wheel and stuff like that. But if you've ever used a HX Effects or HX Stomp, they're very easy units to learn. And with the recent update of 3.7, I think they just keep upping the ante of more effects, better functionality. So it was a good time to invest in a Helix again. I had one earlier this year, then I decided to sell it because I just didn't want to keep it at the time. But once I saw the Platinum version, I was like, okay, that looks cool. It's a neat collector's item kind of deal, and I definitely wouldn't mind owning a Helix just for the sake of having one and incorporating it into the video series I do on my channel. So that does mean I'll probably end up selling the HX Effects, even though for $350, $400 used, you really can't get a better deal if you're wanting just something for effects that has everything. It can do MIDI switching. It can do external amp switching. Guys, seriously, if you have an amp that you want to add some effects to, just get an HX Effects and be done with it. And it's really, really good deal. Now, the next level up, if you want to get the HX Stomp or the HX Stomp XL or the Stomp XL, that does include all the amp models in the full-size Helix for about half the cost, and it's greatly reduced in size, and it has a similar form factor to what the HX Effects does, as far as the bank up and down, 4 presets, and then you can still go into foot switch mode and access, I think, a total of 6 stomps in foot switch mode. So that's enough of me talking about gear for a second. Let's check out who's online. We got Dennis Myers in the house. It is good to see you again, Dennis. I was fighting some kind of nasal congestion, sore throat stuff for the last week and a half or so. I can't remember if I went live last week. I think I did. No, I went live Thursday and I did a headrush toe sculpting live, which was good. This is might be a little too loud. Yeah, it's a little too loud. Let me turn it down, shall we? Yeah, I am liking that a lot. I'll turn it down just a little bit more. Maybe back up. Now, what I'm using tonight, or at the moment, is the ToeMaster Pro. But I can plug into my headrush a little bit later and go through some of my recent findings on the tones I like on the headrush. So if you have any questions, feel free to just go ahead and leave them in the chat, and we can address anything you want. Doesn't matter if it's about guitars, amps, pedals, recording, how to find the right girl for you. I don't know. Whatever it is. I got really lucky with my wife. I met her. Technically, we knew each other from church, but I officially met her at a wedding reception with a mutual friend who was getting married. And she came up to me and said, "Hey, aren't you, Nathan from so and so that plays in the band at church?" I was like, "Yeah, but who are you?" I didn't really know who she was, but man, she was cute. She had a great smile. She looked me in the eyes with like this deep, like I could just tell, like you're special. You're a special person. So I got her number, waited a week to call her, and then we've been together ever since and been married 16 years as of as of October 20th, because we got married in 2007. So we've been married for 16 years. She is amazing, awesome mother, and very hard worker, homeschooling our kids and also doing Medicare during this time of year. So she's been very busy helping the older population, if you will. And she is licensed in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And she could be licensed in other states if you if you are of the age of 65 and need a really, really good person who is knowledgeable about all things Medicare. And she can definitely help you out. So anyway, shameless plug for my wife. Dennis, really shameless plug. Dennis Myers saying, you did a video comparing the headrush versus the Toemaster sound. I own a headrush, but I thought the Toemaster sounded crisper. Yeah, maybe. It might sound crisper. It might depend on the amp you're comparing. I did a headrush versus quad cortex shootout earlier in the year, and I felt like on the clean tones, I'm trying to remember what I thought. I have a video on this. You can go back and watch it, but I felt like the clean tones were pretty on par. They sounded good. The separation came in the high gain sounds. The quad cortex is definitely a scoopy. It's just scooped sounding overall, I think. And the excuse me, my dinner is saying hello. And the headrush had more of a mid-range, not a presence in a good way, like a mid-range, just kind of honkiness to it. That maybe it was the cab, maybe it was the microphone. Maybe if I would have chosen one of my Doc IRs, which I really highly prefer. That's really all I'm using these days is my Doc IR pack. Not for the sake of, hey, go buy my IR pack from Sonic DNA, because it is really, really good. But it really forces me to just pick an IR or a few IRs I really like, whether that's a greenback based IR or a Vintage 30 based IR. And if I'm going from like a more of a high end bite type sound, I use a greenback with a 57, and maybe bring the Royer 121 microphone down to 50%. Which is the whole gist of my IR pack, is you have two microphones on a speaker and they're both at 100% on the faders. And then you bring down the faders either by 50% on either side to get different balances of your sound on that speaker. So sometimes I'll bring down the 57 to have less bite, and sometimes I'll bring down the 121 to have less fullness, if you will. Fullness. I don't know why I'm holding something. But yeah, then there's the opposite effect of the Vintage 30, which is naturally a more scoopier sound. Sometimes I like that extra 57 or that 421 bite on the Vintage 30, and then bringing down the Royer 121 to have less fullness on the Vintage 30. So it really just depends on the sound you're going for, and you can change a lot of your sound just by changing the cab or the microphone and not even changing the amp. But yes, you're right. Regardless of which unit you're comparing, I mean, I still say the headrest sounds really, really good. Especially when I use my IRs, because they just are naturally, they're very nicely filtered. There's not a lot of high end sizzle. No, there's not a lot of low end, like just mud down there. It's just very clean in the bottom end, very smooth in the top end. And you can always adjust the low and high cut filters as well to shape the sound even more, depending on what you're going for, whether you're mixing in the studio or you're recording, or, I mean, you're just playing in a live situation and you just want to dial in a certain sound. So, yes, thank you very much, Dennis. Come to me for all your love relationship needs. Some people say, when I hear that I'm a doctor, I'm like, ooh, Dr. Love. I'm like, yeah, I'm more of a doctor of rock than Dr. Love, but hey, I got lucky. What can I say? And she put up with me on all my guitars. So I do have a t-shirt that I bought at the NAMM show, the last Nashville NAMM. It says, "Love one woman, many guitars." And it sums me up so well. So so what amp am I on? I'm on the, actually, let me use my that's not what I want. I want that one. Thank you. So the Blues Junior is what I've chosen on the Toemaster Pro. And for a really, really clean sound, the 4 area is good. Da 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 da. Let it snow, folks. Let it snow. That what's cool about this amp is it does have the fat switch, which is great, but you can crank it pretty good as well. So let me bring this amp level down so I'm not bleeding your ears. Ow. Wow. Whoever thought a Blues Junior would sound like that? That sounds pretty good. I'm going to bring the bass down and the treble up to get more bite and less thump. That sounds good. We can crank the mids. Or we can scoop the mids. Okay, and that's all without a drive pedal in front. But if we kick on the fat switch, this is where things get interesting. So check this out. So now we just stack gain on top of gain. Let me bring the volume back down a little bit. The algorithm had no idea what song I was playing just now. It had no idea. I totally fooled it. Trying to get that lower gain type crunch a la Petty. Maybe a little less on the amp. Yeah, it has no idea what I'm trying to play. Yeah, Switch is a good all around. Now I know I can go with the Vox and get more of a Voxy type sound, whatever. But you can kick in a boost. And then lightly play and just cleans up. Very nice. You can go to a neck pickup. Oh, what am I playing? Da-da-da, sha-da-da. I gotta be careful with the low 7 string, because sometimes I play like that kind of chord. I'm like, oh, I forgot I'm not on the right string, or whatever. I have recently also come to the realization that this is a Kiesel guitar, and I have other Kiesel guitars as well. But when you have two humbuckers, you can wire it in such a way you can still have a 5-way switch. So you got all the way back is the bridge. Position 2 is the bridge, but with the inner coil split, I think, or maybe in parallel. So that way you get more of a single coil sound. And then you got the middle position, which is both pickups. Position 4, which is the inner coil of the neck. And then all the way back is the full humbucker of the neck. So I really like that configuration. And I almost wish Les Paul had that option as well. But I'm really, really liking this guitar. As well as my other Kiesel guitars. They're just really, wow, they're really good. And they're stainless steel frets, so I can have peace of mind that I can just play literally for hours, upon days, upon weeks, upon years, and never have to worry about fret wear or any of that stuff. And I'm very happy about that. So I love my Reverend guitars. I love my Eastman guitars, but they're not stainless steel fret guitars. And I am more cautious these days on how long I play like certain chords, because I just don't want to have to deal with fret wear and having to go get a fret dress one of these days, or maybe replace all the frets. And yeah, it's just not my thing. So let's check more of the comments here. GeoBase. Hey bro, thanks for all the info the last few days on Facebook. Yes, I think I know who you are. Geo somebody. Yeah. You're welcome. Whatever I did, I promise it wasn't me. I played with guitarists that played most of the simulators out there for recording cool and versatile, efficient live. Not a fan. The guitarist plays an amp always sounds fuller. Sure. Well, you're talking about the phenomena of the amp in the room sound. And your ears are so ingrained and so used to hearing an amp behind you pushing air, that when you don't have that and you have a modeler going to the front of house, and now that sound engineer is sending your signal back through a floor wedge, it can be a little, if you're not used to it, it can just be a little weird. So you can perceive it as sounding fuller, and maybe to you it is. But there are tons and tons of bands out there that literally play Kempers. They play a full fractal system. And yes, they'll probably have a power amp and a cab on the stage to give them that stage volume and that amp in the room kind of sound. But that does not mean that a mauler cannot provide the sounds that you need in a live situation. So I think that's the big difference is if your amp does have a effects loop, and I would urge you to try a mauler through the effects return of your amplifier. So essentially you are bypassing the preamp section of the amp and using the modeler as your preamp sounds. And now your real amp is the power amp and the speaker cab. And you will also be bypassing the virtual speaker inside of your mauler. So that way you don't double up on a virtual speaker sound versus a real speaker sound. And sometimes that can get a little mushy for my ears anyway. If the speaker is neutral enough, maybe you can get away with having the amp sim or the speaker sim on all the time. But usually you want to bypass the speaker sim going out to a real amplifier, so that way you don't double up on those weird sounds. But yeah, whatever floats your boat. If you want to have a real amp on stage, fine. It's perfectly fine. No one's going to stop you. But also no one's going to stop, the people out there that are doing mauling for live gigs. They do it for convenience. They do it for, throw and go, pack up and go. Always having their sounds right there ready without having to tweak a whole lot between gigs. And so that's pretty much what I've done here. I can easily go in and take this rig and do a save as, and then say, okay, this is just going to be a Blues Junior clean with a little bit of Tube Screamer, a little bit of delay and reverb, and that can be like a clean rig, right? And then I can do another save as, and maybe I want more of an ethereal ambient type sound. So I can stack some reverb, stack some delays, maybe have a little grittier sound on the amp type thing. And then I could have a third preset that goes to the EVH amplifier. And that's like my balls to the wall, fire breathing, like chunka lead, rhythm and lead type stuff. So see, my throat's not totally 100% yet. I'm getting a little dry. But it's all good. This is a good setting for that Tom Petty kind of, 70s, 60s, 70s kind of rock rhythm breakup type sound. I would show up to the Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville and use a Tonemaster Pro or a Headrush or a Fractal or any other mauler. Definitely I would use the Helix because that's a good unit as well. I wouldn't mind using any mauler in front of thousands of people and be just fine. So more than likely in that situation, I would be using in-ears. So I would just have a good in-ear mix. And from that point, you're just getting, it's like you're wearing just good headphones and you're listening to your favorite music. You have a good mix of your drums, your bass, your guitars, your vocals, keyboards, whatever's going on. And, there's times where you can have a bad mix in your in-ears, but if you have a good mix, it should be no different than just listening to your favorite music on the radio or Spotify or Tidal or iTunes or whatever else. That's essentially the experience that you're getting is like a really good mix in your ears, but you're playing live. There's a spider. Webbing is web of lies. We have recently watched The Elf with, what's his name? Will Ferrell. It was one of my favorite Christmas movies ever. It's just really funny. Really, really funny. You hear ya, but now in rehearsal as well, up close. If you got $1 million, all the better. $1 million, all the better. Sure. Yeah, pretty sure you're referring to modeler through a fixed return of an amplifier. That's what you do. That's what you do right there. Yeah. LTD EC1000 is my first decent guitar in 20 years. I also own a 7-string. If a 7-string is your go-to guitar during a live stream, it must be a good guitar. Congrats again. I'm slowly getting used to it. Where's my phone? My phone's over here. I need to transfer a picture to my computer so that I can show you. I have a guitar coming tomorrow, and I have a guitar coming probably later this week, if not early next week. But let me show you what I'm dealing with here. I need to send it via AirDrop. Oh, Bluetooth is off. Come on now. Okay, there it is. Once these come up, I can show you what they are. Don't ask me why I'm being stupid like this. It's I guess Santa really likes me or something, but so yeah, let me make this a little bit bigger. Oh, that's not gonna work. How do I make this bigger? Yeah, there we go. Now let's make it smaller. That's it. So this is a Zeus Multiscale 7. So at the time I ordered this back in May of this year, I finally got it in July, at the end of the July, but there was a blemish right here below the bridge. And I was like, hey, that's not supposed to happen. So I had to send it back, and they fixed it, which took another like 2.5 months. It feels like I didn't get it back till October. And that was August, September, October. Yeah. So almost another full waiting period of like another 12 to 13 weeks just to get it back. But whatever. I don't care. I have it now, and it's over with, and it's fine. But one thing you learn when you're going into the world of like custom guitars is you just don't know what you like until you get it in your hands. And one thing I'm learning about 7 strings, like drop tune guitars, is that the lower strings, they need more attention because they can tend to be a little looser the lower you tune them. And I did have to raise the action on this just maybe a 1.5 millimeters or so to get enough clearance on this low string to where it wasn't buzzing. It works good now, but before, when I first got it, it was just super low. You can hear that. So what a multi-scale does is it has a shorter scale on the high strings and a longer scale on the low strings. So therefore, you do have more tension on the low string. So I saw this on Reverb for a really good price, and I was like, you know what? It's a sick top. It has a ash back and a very nicely figured roasted maple neck. And it's just a regular roasted maple, but it has some nice figuring in there. It almost looks like it's bird's eye, but it's not. Apparently the original owner saw my post on Facebook and was like, hey, I'm the original owner. It's a really cool guitar. I'm like, why'd you sell it, dude? Because this thing is sick. But maybe he was just moving on to something else. But if you're looking at Kiesel's or any custom guitar, I would say look on Reverb first, because you might find some really good deals. because putting in a build for this is probably going to be a few $1,000s, and if you can find it used, you can probably pay 12 to 1800, depending on the model and the specs and stuff and what people are asking. So there's that. And then this guitar here is another 7-string. Oh, and going back to this is going to be my first headless guitar as well. So it's going to be a headless, multi-scale 7-string, very lightweight because the ash body, and I think it might be chambered as well. I can't remember. It may be chambered. So anyway, this is another one that actually has a piezo installed on it. And it's another multi-scale 7-string. It does have a headstock, which I just really like the look of it. I like the Telecaster body shape with the natural bevels. So it's very comfortable on the forearm, which most Telecasters are very just sharp and boxy. And I don't like that personally. Nor do I like on the Telecaster, the switch is like horizontal instead of going diagonal. And it's just almost impossible when you have the switch over on the bridge that the volume knob is like in the way of that switch. And it's very hard to switch it back and forth to the middle or the neck positions. So I like it. I like this better. Because it does have the diagonal switch. It's a 5-way switch. And it has the piezo installed with a separate output for the piezo. So what I can do is I could have the piezo on all the time and the electric on all the time. And with the maulers I have now, with the Toemaster Pro, with the headrest core, and also with the Helix, and I could do this also with the Fractal, because they all have multiple inputs. I could have this guitar plugged into a mauler at all times, both inputs, and I could have a preset just for the piezo sound. Then I could have a preset just for the electric sound, whether that's clean or dirty. So it could be very interesting to see what I can do with this guitar as far as I do want to make some music with this. My goal this next year is not only to make more backing tracks, but also just release some more original music, which I kind of did a few years ago, but I just did a few songs here and there, but nothing too serious. So I really want to just dive in a little deeper on this 7-string multi-scale type thing and see what kind of music I can come up with and incorporate the piezo in there. Which I know is not exactly like a real acoustic, but it sounds pretty close, and it definitely has its own little sound to it, especially when you start adding in tons of reverb and delay and more of the ambient type stuff. So speaking of ambient, we can go and look at this Celestial reverb, which is really nice. And we can crank up the mix on this. We can turn down the pitch decay maybe bring up the high cut. We could play something like I think it's really pretty. We could also replace this and put in, let's just do the shimmer reverb, which is neat. Turn the mix up on this thing. Okay, and now for even more fun, let's replace this large reverb and let's put in the where is it? It's part of the delays is the auto swell delay, which is really neat. Ha! Cool stuff. All kinds of options there you can do. I actually put this back on whatever reverb I had it on before. Let's do a spring reverb. Let's do a convolution spring. I did watch a few videos saying of when you first get a 7-string, you need to play it like a 6-string for a while just to get used to that. Get used to not hitting that 7th string down below. And so I did that, and it's pretty much become second nature at this point. I don't get really confused what I'm playing, but I do like having that extra low D, like a low D chord. It's kind of nice. A low C and a low B. You just can't hit the other strings, otherwise that's not going to work. But you can do other things like that. Nice and low. So yeah, talking about multi-scales, if I were to go back and change anything, knowing what I know now, I would have had this guitar be a multi-scale guitar. So that way the pickups were slightly shifted. But I think at the time they didn't have multi-scale trims, and so that would have been that wouldn't have been an option anyway. But now that they do have multi-scale trims, I definitely would have ordered this guitar in multi-scale. And plus, it would look even more like a battle axe than like it does now. So anyway, thanks Dennis for getting me on the rant of cool 7-string guitars. 7-string with slanty frets. Oh, I bet you're gonna be stoked. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I've watched a few videos so far of people talking about it, and they say it feels very, very natural. And now at first look, when you got the extra little shift this way and the shift going this way, it might be a little different at first, but to me, I think it should be very natural to play something like that. It's going to be neat. Kiesel has actually been around for a very long time. They started back in 1946 making pickups and also Hawaiian instruments. And then eventually, due to some kind of lawsuit of something, Mr. Kiesel changed the name to Carvin based on the first few letters of his two sons' names. So Car and then Vin was put together, and then you got Carvin. And then in the early 2000s, I think like 2006, 2007 ish era, Kiesel was reborn, and Jeff Kiesel has taken over the custom shop from whatever Carvin was doing before. And Carvin still does PA type stuff, and they make their own pickups. But all the custom shop stuff is now fully Kiesel, and Jeff Kiesel, the grandson of the original Kiesel, has taken that over, and he's doing a good job. He's a very interesting fella, and but when you look at these the shop tours at the Kiesel plant, it's very similar to my Gibson days. I worked at Gibson Guitars from 2005 to 2014. And so almost 10 years, just shy of 10 years, probably like 6 months shy of being there for 10 years. And, we all use the same kind of things. We got wood, we got big heavy machines, we got CNC machines that we use, the cutout guitars. We cut out some things by hand, depending on what the model is and what part of the process is. So I understand what Jeff and the guys over at Kiesel are going through, trying to make guitars at a very, very high level and have them be custom. You can go to their website right now. You can either buy an in stock that's already done and it can be shipped to you within the week, or you can go in and totally make your own guitar of whatever color, whatever body style that they have for you to choose from. You can do a neck through design. You can do a bolt on design, multiply necks, all kinds of cool colors, like rainbow sparkle colors and all kinds of stuff. It's just really, really neat. So, but you're going to be paying a few $1,000s for that customization. So that's why most people, they stick with either the Fenders or the Epiphones or Gibsons or something more, not name brand, because Kiesel is a good name brand name, but it's more of a custom shop name brand. And when you have a custom shop, that equals it's a one-off guitar, and they have to charge more for that style of instrument. But PRS comes out with, a John Mayer Silver Sky, and it costs $3,000. So, it is what it is. Sometimes you pay for the name, sometimes you pay for the expertise, and all that stuff. So, look at less expensive brands and upgrade as needed. Yeah, that's a good option as well. That's why I really like Reverend guitars. They are essentially, it's like if you bought a Fender guitar, but then upgraded all the main important stuff, like locking tuners, Wilkinson bridge and tremolo, bass contour knobs, treble bleed circuits on the volumes, like everything you would do to customize a Fender. Reverend guitars already come like that way. They already come that way stock. And you can get a good Reverend guitar for $800 to $1,200, depending on if it's brand new, if it's used, stuff like that. So if you're wanting a really, really good, I'm honestly saying this because I've owned tons of Reverends over the years. If you want a really good guitar that is on par, if not better than a Fender, then look into Reverend guitars. They're just really that good. So I can't recommend them enough. And they are sold through Sweetwater. So if you want to use my affiliate link down below, which I'll update that at the end of the stream, then I would appreciate any sales through my affiliate links. Also, if you're shopping through Amazon this time of year, you're going to buy a Christmas present and some toilet paper, because why not? Click through my Amazon affiliate link, and then I'll get a little bit of a kickback from that, and no extra cost to you. So it's a very easy way to support the channel, just by doing your normal shopping you would be doing anyway. Yeah, so Reverb, I bought both of these guitars I just showed you on Reverb.com. You do have to pay with for shipping sometimes, and you do have to pay with pay taxes on top. So it's not like you're getting marketplace prices. But if you want a good deal on a guitar that would normally cost you, at least $1,000 more if you would have bought it new from the Kiesel shop, then Reverb can still be a really good deal. Dennis. Hand orange covering eyes. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to do, but he owned a Carvin back in '95. Yeah, I always like getting the Carvin catalogs and just looking through them. For some reason, I just never pulled the trigger on buying a Carvin. But now that I own a Kiesel and I know the history behind Kiesel and Carvin and everything they've gone through the last since 1946. I highly respect the company. I really think they make some extremely gorgeous instruments, and they play amazing. This neck is just butter smooth. The frets are so easy to bend on and stuff. It's just really, really nice. So, I do have a Gibson Les Paul over here in a case, but, man, I need to sell it because it's just kind of sitting there since I've been getting my Carvin or my Kiesels. I got their start in the same company. I'm understanding. I love my Carvin. It was a solid built guitar. Yeah, so it was first Kiesel, and then Mr. Kiesel had to change the name to Carvin due to some kind of lawsuit. So it was Carvin for the longest time. Steve Vai plays a Carvin V3 or something, some kind of amplifier. I think nowadays he's actually using the Synergy stuff, but back in the day, he was using a Carvin amplifier. And yeah. See, I feel like spring reverbs are good for like certain type of rock, but sometimes you just want a good like room. Just give me like a good room reverb. Also, Kiesels come with Elixir electric strings, which I've always used Elixirs on my acoustic, just for the non-squeaky feel when I'm recording. But man, I gotta tell you, after all these years of playing like GHS boomers and ordering strings from webstrings.com, and also playing like Ernie Ball, playing Diodario, I'm really thinking I just need to stick with these Elixir strings because they feel great. They're smooth on the fingers. There's no squeak at all. Yeah, to me they just feel really good. So I'm probably going to go on Amazon and buy a 3-pack. And the next time I need to change strings on one of my electrics, I'm just going to throw on some Elixirs and be done. So let me grab my my neck through Aries from Kiesel, and I'm going to show you an idea that I have. This is going to be really cool. I will be right back, folks. Right back. Okay, I am back. I am back and better than ever. This is the first Kiesel that I got this year, and I technically saw a picture of this model, of this exact look, on the Kiesel website. So I called him up probably within 30 minutes of finding the website, and I was like, just build me whatever this is. Like, whatever this is, just build me that. So essentially it is a neck through design. It's a 7-ply, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. It's a 5-ply neck. And it's got walnut wings. Obviously it's a neck through design with a maple going all the way through. Bird's eye maple fretboard. And then a walnut cap on the headstock. I probably would have got a different headstock looking back, but it is what it is, and it's still a really cool guitar. So, and also the the walnut has a little bit of figuring going on. And you can kind of see if you catch the light at certain angles. Got a little bit of figuring going on in that walnut, which apparently I paid extra for. But I was kind of hoping for a little bit more figuring than that, but it is what it is. Every piece of wood is different. And this is now my Doc McFarland custom Kiesel guitar. So this one does not have the 7 string, so I have to be careful not to overemphasize my fret hand to play on the lower strings. Excuse me. But this does have the same pickups as the 7 string over here. So it has a Illusionist in the bridge and a Beryllium in the neck. And this is a S60 single coil pickup. And what my plan is is this. I think it's going to be really neat. So we still have the 5-way switch right here. Okay. So what I want to do, because this also has a push-pull pot. If you can see that, you can push it up and down. So what my plan is to wire the middle pickup to the push-pull pot. So when it's up, I guess, or maybe if it's down, the pickup is out, and it's only engaged when you pull it up. So what that leaves the 5-way switch the same as my other Kiesel guitars with 2 humbuckers. So imagine this middle pickup isn't there. So now I have all the way down is the bridge. Position 2 is the inside coil of the humbucker on the bridge. Middle position is both humbuckers. Position 4 is the inside coil of the neck pickup. And then all the way back on position 5 would be the full humbucker on the neck. And then any one of those positions, I can bring in the middle pickup probably in parallel. So that way I keep the same volume and not have it in series and have it be a weird like polarity or out of phase kind of deal. I did email the company and asked somebody for direction on how to wire that kind of idea. And they're going to get me in contact with somebody that may know a good solution for that. So there's all kinds of videos on YouTube as well that shows you how to wire different pickup configurations. And, I know Seymour Duncan has a really good, is a really good resource for wiring diagrams. DiMarzio also has some really good wiring diagrams. Brayshaw Works Tone is a YouTube channel that has a really good resource for all kinds of pickup wiring. But I haven't seen anything where you can add in a pickup and, also on whatever position you're currently on. So, it's going to be cool. Something very neat to look forward to. But we'll see. So I'm at the bottom of our comments here, folks. I know I've been talking a lot about Kiesels and tones and stuff, but I want to hear from you. Ask me your questions. Let me know if it's a headrush question. It can be a helix or a fractal or a guitar question, or maybe you want to learn about drop 2 voicings for jazz. I mean, I can teach all that. So just let me know. I do teach private lessons on Mondays and Thursdays here at the house. And I do have a music theory course on my website that is not expensive at all. And it's cheaper than 1 month's worth of lessons at a music store anyway. So it's about $79. I think $79, $76, something like that. I think it's $76 for the music theory course. And you'd be paying that, if not more, if you went to private lessons anyway. So sign up for my course if you want to learn more about music theory. And I basically teach music as a language and how you can apply that language to literally any instrument that you want, regardless if it's a stringed instrument like guitar, bass, banjo, mandolin. If it's a fretless instrument like violin, cello, viola, really anything with strings, you can apply the same knowledge to all your woodwind and your brass instruments, which is why I know how to literally play everything, because music is a language and you just learn it once and you apply that language to whatever instrument you happen to be holding at the time. So, and I can also play drums as well, which is really fun. And yeah. So one of these days I'm going to have a camera set up over the drum kit, and I'll be able to walk over there, switch my camera over to the drum kit camera, and maybe do some drum jamming and all that fun stuff. So let's look at a backing track that I've done here recently. Excuse me. I'm going to have to quit talking here pretty soon, because my throat's getting tired. I need to log in. So back in tracks, I am not quite through. Oh, I don't want to verify my account. Come on. I'm almost through the month of September. I got a little bit behind on my back in tracks, but I'm going to pull through here. I'm going to do a blues theme for October, November, and December, and then throw in a little pop stuff, throw in a little acoustic-y, kind of jammy type stuff, and that should work for the rest of this year. So these backing tracks are a really good way if you're a beginner to just force yourself to sit down for 10 minutes. And I specifically made each one of these 10 minutes long. So that way, if you only have 10 minutes to practice a day, you're gonna sit down with one of these backing tracks. You're gonna look at the chords on the screen, and you're gonna strum along. Just try to strum along the best that you can. Then eventually, once you start learning scales and pentatonic scales and throwing in melodies, that you're gonna start. You're gonna start, incorporating all that stuff along with these backing tracks. And let me tell you guys, getting a year's worth of backing tracks is $20. $20 gives you a year's 52 weeks, 1 year's worth of backing tracks. And you can see right here that I have 3 in September, which September had 5 weeks. So I got 2 more to do in September. And then I got October, November, then December. So I got a good 12 backing tracks left or so, 12 to 14 backing tracks to crank out here for the month of December, which I can totally do that. And then I'll start a whole new year of backing tracks for 2024, which will be another $20. But it's $20 for a whole year. I mean, you're going to spend more than that on Netflix or whatever else. And so if you know anybody that's just starting to play anything, whether that's bass or guitar or trumpet or trombone or saxophone or something, and you want to give your kids or your loved ones the gift of music, then definitely check out my website, buy some backing tracks. We can go to the store here. I need to do something else, but, buy the music theory course if you want to. Lots of good stuff on here for anybody on any level to learn. So let's listen to the blues in A major. And actually, this is a fun recording here, because I was in the dining room and I was plugged into my Blue Guitar Amp 1 amplifier through the little nano cab. And it sounds really nice and roomy in the dining room anyway. So, what I did was I basically set up my laptop right next to the amp and just turned down the amp so I wasn't blowing out the microphone on the laptop, on the MacBook. And I basically just I played along with the drums, with headphones on, but had the laptop microphone pick up the guitar amp. So what you're hearing is in this recording is a MIDI drums, a MIDI bass, but it's a real guitar amp in the dining room of my house. And I thought, and also I played like a little B3 organy type thing. So yeah, this is what we got. Oh yeah. Let me make sure I got the levels. Levels good. Okay, this should be good for you guys. Let me know if that's not loud enough or too loud or whatever. Maybe turn my guitar up a little bit more. Yes, sir. Dennis, play along with me. Little minor pentatonic with the major third in there. Let me add a little overdrive here. Neck pickup. Maybe you're working on drop two voicings, you just want to play chords. D7. Back to A7. Back to the fat switch on the amp. There's a red house over yonder, folks. Red house. Oh! Oh! There's a red house over yonder. Well, so listen to that guitar. See the roominess? It's kind of off in the distance, but the drums and the bass are like more in your face because they're MIDI. Yeah, it's a cool sound. sir. Fun stuff. Good old blues. Just sit there for 10 minutes and just blaze some blues, man. Come home from work, kick off your shoes, maybe throw on some sweatpants, throw on a backing track, and just relax. Just sit and play. That's all I try to do. I just love playing. I'll sit here for hours and play if I'm not careful. I just love the sound of the electric guitar. I play a classical guitar. I play acoustic guitar. I have a mandolin I love playing on. I love playing dobro. All kinds of stuff. It's just this is what I was born to do. I just love it. Let's check the comments here. Oh, no comments. Come on. No comments. Yeah, I've been putting the 1 to 1.5 minute previews on YouTube, and yeah, it's pretty fun. 48 years old. I'm just learning scales. I just started playing with backing tracks. I didn't know learning scales could be so fun. It is very fun, and depending on the chords that you're playing, could determine if you're playing a harmonic minor, a natural minor scale. Maybe you're playing a Mixolydian type scale, which is a major scale with a flat 7. Yeah, stuff like that. So, or you can do like a harmonic minor type stuff. Natural minor. Blues scale. All kinds of stuff. I would really love really anybody, but somebody, if you want to jam along to a backing track and then put it on YouTube, I would love to see like saxophone players, clarinet players, just anybody that, guitar players are fine, but just really anything, like grab a trombone and like just rock out to a backing track or something. That'd be really fun. So here's the neck pickup in the single coil position with the pull pot, push pull, pulled out. But I could be getting that sound in position 4 if I rewire it a different way, and still be able to add in the middle position or the middle pickup on any of the positions. So I can still get those stratty sounds. I can still get those telly type sounds. All kinds of stuff. So who knows? Yeah, I love it. Yeah, jamming on vocals. I don't care. Jamming on my unplugged electric. There you go. Yeah, vocals. Vocals are great. Do da ba 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 do da ba bo. Do da ba da do da down do da 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 do da da ba do ba ba do da ba da 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 do da do da da do da do do ba da do da do 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 ba da do ba 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 da ba do ba. Yeah, whatever key I'm in, I have no idea. Anybody else have any comments at all? Otherwise, it is time for me to go and watch some Chuck with my beautiful wife, because we're on season 4 now. We're plowing on through this TV show called Chuck that aired from 2007 to 2012. And it's a very funny show. It's like it's kind of The Office meets, spy type shows. And it's hilarious because of the characters, but it's got a romantic side, it's got a suspenseful side because you never know what's going to happen. And season 3 was really, really well done. The acting, the storyline, everything was really well done. Season 4 is also shaping up to be very, very funny, very suspenseful. He's now on a different mission to do something else. I will not give it away if you want to go watch it. Then it ends in season 5, which is very sad. I think Zachary Levi, who also did the voice of Flynn Rider on Tangled, and also Tangled, the Disney cartoon, the TV show. He's really working on doing a Chuck movie, which I think would be very, very cool. I'm not sure what kind of storyline or, where they would, what direction they could take it, but it would be really, really neat if that would ever happen someday. And because I just really like the story, I like the characters, and it would be cool to see what they would be doing 13, 14 years later. Because that show ended in 2012, and it is now 2023, almost 2024. So, 12 years ago, what would change? It's kind of crazy. Randy Upchurch just stopped by to say hello and glad to be here. Yeah, man, I've just been jamming on some backing tracks, talking about some Kiesel guitars, talking about some Tonemaster Pro type stuff. Let me show you this EVH that I've chosen as my high gain amplifier. This thing is just ballsy. Yes, sir. I can definitely handle that. My top techniques I love doing is pig squeals, the pinch harmonics. Yeah. Very fun. I probably overuse that more times than not, but I thoroughly enjoy it. Let me get rid of this enchanter. I just threw it in earlier for a video. But I am really liking the boost. I'm liking the green box, which is just a good overall tube screamer. Hello. And then we also have the Nobles ODR, which sounds really good, in front of the Clean or the EVH. Yeah, so it's just a good overall pushing the mids, pushing more volume into the front end of the amp kind of deal. Let me go back to the Blues the Blues Junior. Let me turn the fat switch off. And then kick on this Nobles here. So this is one thing I'm noticing is you can get some really good high gain sounds with pedals into a clean amp, but there's something about the real high gain amp that just has more balls and more like juice in the low end and the more thump going on. But this Nobles in front of the Blues Junior is a really good sound. Let me crank the drive up a little bit. Yeah, I think it's really good. You can also kick in a tube screamer in front of that. That sounds very nice. And then you can always just go back to your clean sound. Hello. Hey, Betsy. Now I can let me switch this over to a deluxe or something just real fast. A deluxe amp also sounds really good. Something about that sounds a little woolly to me. Versus going back to the Blues Junior here. Where we got? Come on, where is it? Blues Junior. Yep. It has a more modern sound to it, a little bit more mid-range. It has you can get it fatter sounding, but it still cleans up very nice. And I still like that fat switch. It is very, very similar to this Nobles in the way it just pushes more mids and just fattens it up. So it is like a drive pedal on the amp itself. So I'm just sticking with the Blues Junior, and I'm pretty sure the Fractal has a Blues Junior in it, and who knows? Maybe I'll just make a preset with a Blues Junior and have that be my clean tone. Because why not? If it's clean, it's clean. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Whether you call it a Deluxe or a Princeton or a Blues Junior or a Vibrolux or whatever. I mean, just find an amp that gives you a clean tone, and no one's going to know the difference whether you're playing live or you're recording. It's like, oh, I can definitely tell he was playing a Fender Twin. It's like, yeah, probably not. You're probably not going to be able to tell. Yeah, piece of gear EVH on. Yeah, this is the Tonemaster Pro, and it comes with an editor, which you cannot save presets to your computer like you can on other units. Otherwise, I would be making presets and then selling them on my website. But for now, I'm just making presets and just uploading them to the cloud for free, because that's kind of the deal. It's very similar to how the Quad Cortex was before they had a marketplace. There's really not a way to sell presets on the Quad Cortex up until maybe now. Maybe they don't even have it yet. I don't remember, but Quad Cortex is just now getting an editor after being out for 3 years. Headrush still does not have an editor, but they do have a Revolver plugin. And let me show you that real fast. Did I save it down here anywhere? No. Where's my Revolver? This is a really cool plugin. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to go ahead and drag it down here. And let's see what we got. I'm going to let me go to an empty preset. We're going to keep it. I'm not sure which output this is coming out on.
Oh no.
Okay, let me figure this out. I'm coming on input. I need to change my input. Audio MIDI. I need to be on input 3 and 4. No, sorry. It says analog 1. That's not what I want. I want analog 3. There we go. Then my output channel is going to be 13 and 14. There we go. So I'm going to mute that channel. Sorry. Figuring this out. Why? Sorry. I thought I had this figured out. Why is my microphone coming through the plugin? It shouldn't be. Definitely shouldn't be. No, it is. Crap. Input channels are 3 and 4. I told you this. Okay, now we're going to be able to do it. I'm very sorry. Check. Oh my gosh. What am I doing wrong? Okay, my input channel is 3. My output channel is 13 and 14, which are coming out here. But something... See, my microphone is going through the input. Why? Why is it doing it? What else is selected down here? Oh, I know. So my loopback... Sorry, this is a RME kind of deal. So my loopback channel is on 3 and 4. So therefore, I technically can't use input 3 to do that. So let me do this. I will unplug this guitar and I'm going to plug it into ADAT. This is going to be on ADAT 1. Okay, now we're going to be able to do it. I guarantee. Maybe. Oh, crap. See, I'm on 1 here. Okay, that's fine. But my voice is still coming through. Why? Let's mute that channel. My voice is still coming through. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Why is it not working? I don't want analog 3 on there. I want that one. Check, 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 check. All right, now it's working. Sorry. Man, I don't know why that's so hard. All right, so this is the new Revolver plugin, which I've already done a little video on I did have a video on last Thursday. Let me turn it down so we're not blowing out your ears here. Something like this. Okay. So what we can do with this is we can go in and say, this is my Buddha amplifier, and you can pick your cab, you can pick your microphone. I choose the SM7B. Okay, sounds pretty decent. I'm going to go in and I'm going to replace this module with a cabinet modeler. Here's all my dock IRs. I made a video last week on how to load up the Doc McFarland IRs. So we're going to go with the greenback 57 with a 121 down, 50%. We can boost the proximity effect. Sounds pretty neat. Let me make sure that channel's muted, and it is. And yeah, you can just kind of crank it up. Pretty cool stuff. And then maybe we don't crank it up. Maybe we... See, I wonder if we have a... let's see what kind of clean tone. So on the headrush currently, I really like the Black Mini because it just sounds really thick. And it's based on the 65 Fender Champ, which is a 6-watt amp. So let me play you that one real fast. And to me, that's just a really, really good, just a good clean sound. I like it. Turn up the treble, turn down the bass. Still turn on the vibrato. Got the intensity knob, just like you see on the Tonemaster Pro. We got the real graphic kind of deal. So this is a really cheap option if you just sit in front of your computer and play guitar. I bought this plugin. You can download it for free, but I bought the full producer pack, which has all the Revolver amps and all the Headrush amps, just like I would use on the Headrush pedal board, gig board, MX5, also the Prime and the Core. You have all the amps from both units. And that sounds really good. So we can now go to our effects, and we got a little bit of reverb. We got something very nice there. We can click on the plus. You can do EQ tone matching with this. You can also capture or clone your own amplifiers with this plugin, and then I guess load them up in your Core or your Prime. So very similar to what ToneX is doing with the Amplitude ToneX software. You can now do the same kind of deal with the Revolver 5 plugin. So if you're a Headrush guy, this will not control your Headrush. Maybe you're able to export the rig and load it up into your Headrush. Maybe. I'm not sure. Let's throw in a little tape echo here. We'll put the sync on. So So we got something like this to... Wow. We got a little recording level. Turn the mix down. Yeah. Now, so far, I do not see like the party verb and all that stuff in here. So we're kind of lacking on the ambient reverb stuff, which is fine for now. Maybe if they add it later, they'll include it for free or something. But we do have all these stomp box options here. You can also add in your own third-party plugins. So if you have Waves plugins, IK Multimedia plugins, whatever you want, you can incorporate that into this plugin, which is standalone. But you can also load it up into your DAW of choice, a digital audio workstation, air vibrato. See, we have all this stuff here. Here's like anxiety overdrive, which is neat. Oh, something's happening. What's going on there? Something is happening. Normalizing output. Please wait. Normalizing output. Okay. I wonder if there's a forum on here somewhere. Okay. Okay, so I guess it just automatically turns down your volume according to whatever you're doing. Okay, that's fine. So you got your drop pedals in front, you got your amps and cabs in the middle, then you have your post effects, which are a little lacking right now. I do like the again delay, which has built-in delay, chorus, and reverb, or ambience as they call it. But I would like some more ambient style reverbs, kind of like what you see in the Tonemaster and the Fractal and some other units. And same goes for the actual headrush unit itself. It is, the reverbs itself sound fine, but I'm wanting more out of what the reverbs are giving me right now, as far as the ambient, ethereal, shimmery type stuff. So I hope that makes sense. All right, guys, we've been going for a good hour and a half now, and I really appreciate everyone hanging out. I do enjoy these Tuesday live streams. It just gives me a chance to unwind. Me personally, just kind of play guitar, talk about, music and gear, and interact with you guys out there on the other end, maybe of the world, wherever you're at. I know Randy's from Illinois. Dennis, I'm not quite sure where you're from. Maybe you've said it before, but I don't remember right off the top of my head. But I do like to get to know my viewers and my subscribers, and possibly supporters that support me here on the website and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm about to go. Let's go watch some Chuck, and you go do whatever you do. And I will be busy the rest of this week working on some Harrison videos and finishing up some projects here in the studio. And then next week, I'm going to start another song with a friend that she wants to do some Christmas tunes. So that'll be fun. That will be fun. And this is what I do. I'm Doctor McFarland Studios. I actually record and produce music up here. I also teach and talk about gear, apparently. So thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Dr. McFarland. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking.